Oh. This is my theme music. All right, let's see. Why is my music not playing? I don't understand. Hi guys, we are back and we are live. All right, so people are popping in. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, guys, so we are back officially for tonight's live. And I want to make sure that I'm just giving everybody about a minute to pop back on. We are live tonight with Regina Moffett from the Faith-Filled Teacher. And she's going to be sharing amazing tips, amazing strategies and tools as to how you can launch and grow your own business. So I'm going to give the official introduction in a little bit, but I'm waiting for you to hop on because I know we started a bit late. So all of those persons who were jamming with me in the previous session, let's just give them a quick minute to hop on over here so we can officially get started. Hi, Shava. Shava, I'm always mixing up your name, darling. Please send me a voice note and let me know exactly how you pronounce your name. Shavani, Shava, I'm not sure. Hello and welcome. We had people all the way from Europe earlier on. I want to send them back on. It's like midnight right now, you know, and people actually stayed up for the live. I felt like, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. All right, so for those of you who are popping in, just type in the comments and let us know who you are. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Are you from Jamaica? Are you from London? Are you from US? Are you from Canada? Let us know where you're tuning in from so we can give you a shout out. All right. I think we can get started right now. You agree? I think we can get started. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first in a series of, this is literally just a party. It's a party that is going to help you to build your business. As you know, the Boss Teacher brand is turning 2 on November 28th. And I just wanted to share that with you. And so a few of my good friends online have just agreed to share this moment with me, and I cannot be more excited. What I'm especially excited about is the fact that all of my guests for this week have been on the Boss Teacher podcast. If you haven't listened to the Boss Teacher podcast, go over to my website and listen to it now. But one of the main reasons that we decided that we would do this was because we wanted to show you and share with you a special gift, just to share with you what's possible. Because we realize that sometimes you sit at home and you really don't see what can happen to your life, what can happen to your business, how much you can grow, and how much you can become better in a short span of 2 years. So this conversation tonight is with Regina. And Regina is one of my very first guests in the Boss Teacher podcast. I don't remember which episode it was, but she was one of our earlier guests. And Regina is all the way from the United States. And I met Regina online. We had a wonderful conversation over Zoom, and we recorded the episode of the Boss Teacher podcast. But the interesting thing that as I spoke to Regina, a lot of things I am learning about her for the first time. And what I found interesting was how similar our stories were. Regina has been in the classroom for over a decade. It's what, 14 years now since the last time we spoke? Yeah, 14 years. and she has been teaching ever since. She knew from early that she wanted to be a teacher, and then she's now in the process of pivoting to entrepreneurship. So like she and I, we share such similarities in stories, and guess what? She's also an elementary teacher. So can you believe it? Like we have so many things to connect on. So I want to especially welcome Regina. Welcome to the Boss Teacher Live. Last time you were here, we were talking about Boss Teacher Podcast. Now it's Boss Teacher Live. And I'm really and truly excited to have you with us. So just say hi to the people. Say hi to the people.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank Julia for having me here. I am super excited to celebrate her 2 years. So I hope you guys are ready. Like she said, we're going to party and learn and talk about entrepreneurship and all that good stuff. So I'm excited to share.
Awesome. All right. So let us know, Regina, just give us an overview of what exactly you do. We know you online as the faith-filled teacher. Oh, and yes, we connect on that as well because she's also a Christian. So you are known online as the faith-filled teacher. I know you as Regina. Let us know, what do you do as the faith-filled teacher?
Yes. So online, my website is the Faith-Filled Teacher. Those are also my social media handles. And my main goal is to inspire Christian teachers to grow in their faith and also use their faith to achieve excellence in the classroom. So if you want to be inspired and encouraged, I'm the place to come for all the teachers out there. So that's what I do.
And you are still a full-time classroom teacher, right?
Yes, I am currently still in the classroom.
So my question to you regarding that, because the last time we spoke, you mentioned that one of your major challenges was having to come home from school, having a full-time job, and then come home and start on your side hustle after work. And no virtual teaching, many teachers are telling me that it is so much more difficult now to be a teacher in this era than ever before. So I knew you told me how you managed it then, but how are you managing to really juggle both things? You're juggling your full-time job and you're juggling your side hustle as the faith-filled teacher right now in this particular season. How do you do it?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the most important things I think to being successful in really anything, but especially with teaching, is just time management. One of the things I think that is very important is when you are at school, take advantage of the time that you have, that you are being paid during that school day, to try to get as much done as you can. The moments of downtime that you have, little pieces of time here and there, take advantage of those. Grade a couple of papers, do whatever you need to do. So for me, I try to really take advantage of the time that I have during my school day to get everything done that I can. And don't feel guilty about using your school day to grade those papers or check those emails, because that goes into what you do as a teacher. And then as far as coming home, time management is also a really big thing, and some good old-fashioned self-motivation. So for me, when I get home, I just try to make sure that I have a specific time where I'm working on my business. And monthly goal planning is also really good, because if you take that time out to just kind of schedule out, what do I want to get accomplished this month? When you have a plan, that's also super helpful. So time management, some self-motivation, carving out that specific time, and planning.
So do you ever have a day or a few days where you go to bed at 1 a.m. in the morning? Here's why I ask. Because every other teacher that I talked to today, like in this season, they're telling me that they're not getting any sleep. Like teachers are telling me that they're going to bed at 12 in the morning, at 1 in the morning, and then have to wake up to teach at 7:30 and 8. And that is like a constant recurring theme day after day. So do you experience that, or do you have this time management thing locked?
I do not have time management locked. I am definitely a work in progress. So I definitely have my days that I'm going to bed late. I also have days where I don't work on my business stuff, or I don't work on it for the time that I want to work on it. So I think, giving yourself grace is absolutely what we all need during this time. And yeah, I definitely know what those teachers are talking about when they talk about the late nights, but try not to make it a habit, because we got to take care of ourselves. That's so important during this time.
I love the fact that you talk about goal planning and talk about habit, because we are having our planning party this Saturday and we're planning for 2021. And one of the things I stress with teachers is that you cannot stay at home every single week writing lesson plans, putting together lessons, organizing materials for your class. And then at the end of the week, you have done nothing for yourself. Like it cannot work. You have to factor your own self, your own personal growth, and enjoying life to the fullest as well. So I love the fact that you brought up goal planning. As it relates to goal planning though, are there specific things that you take into consideration, or is you just have a category where you say, okay, this time is for business, or do you look at the self-development as a whole? Like, is it a holistic approach for you, or you just slot time for work and then the faithful teacher after work?
Yeah, I kind of compartmentalize mine a little bit. So I have my work stuff that I do, and then, my own personal downtime, which is very important to have. And then, time to work on my business stuff, time for my spiritual stuff, my devotional time, my quiet time with God. So yeah, I kind of break it up into pieces like that.
Okay, so it's not just about the business, because we don't want people to get the impression that it's just all about the business, all about the money. You have to take care of the whole you. Like, you have to take care of you. That's so important. And especially when so many teachers are experiencing like real physical stress and depression in the midst of this pandemic. Wow. So when we met 2 years ago, right? You had literally just started your blog. Like, you had been blogging for about a year at that time. So this would be your third year as the faithful teacher. What has changed for you in the past 2 years of doing business? Like, what kind of improvements have you seen in your business, and any changes in general?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that has changed is, in my mind, initially, I thought that blogging and like writing blog posts was going to be my big thing, but I've definitely kind of moved away from that. And I still have some blogging that I do, but I've moved more towards really focusing on my social media, because my audience, especially on Instagram, has been amazing. So I spend a lot of time connecting there with my audience. 2 years ago, I was not profitable monthly. I didn't have, a group of products that I had that was generating income for me. And now I do. Monthly, I'm able to generate income on autopilot, which is really awesome, especially for, teachers. I know right now in my district, we haven't even come to a consensus on our contract for this year, because they don't want to give us the pay raise, so we're sort of going back and forth. So one of the things that's really comforting and really awesome is just like, wow, I gave myself a pay raise this year. I don't have to depend on my district to do that, because I did that by myself. So definitely kind of changed my focus. And I am profitable monthly. 2 years ago, I was not. So those are definitely two big changes.
All right, sorry. I need to behave myself. I'm so excited to hear that. Two things I really picked up from what you just said. One is that you started out blogging and your main focus was your website and your blog. And 2 years to today, you realize, oh, but my audience is more concentrated on Instagram. And the thing I want people not to miss about this is that it's going to take time for you to understand who your ideal client is, because sometimes you might start out thinking that they're interested in this one thing and I'm going to connect with them in this one place. But the more you interact and you engage, you realize, oh, they are over there and that's where they want me to talk to them. And you have to listen to that, not because you love blogging and you love to write or you love videos and you love to YouTube. That doesn't mean that you're going to be there forever. Wherever your audience is, that's where you need to connect with them, and you can only connect with them if you're showing up. As I mentioned, show up. I remember how you talked about how fearful you were for going on video for the very first time, and then once you started, it literally transformed how you show up on social media. Please, you have to share that experience again, because so many of my teachers, even today, are still fearful. Like, we're good in front of the classroom, we're good in Zoom, but once it's time for us to turn on the phone and go live on social media, like, oh, the whole world is caving in. So just share that experience with us again.
Yeah, so I can remember back before, doing my first live, and you're nervous because you're not sure what to say. You're afraid you're going to stumble over your words, and then your heart's beating right before you push that go live button. But some advice that I would give is you just have to do it. Like, just do it. And once you do it a couple of times, you will start to get more and more and more comfortable. And now, like, doing Instagram stories and lives are like no problem at all. So you have to do it. You have to jump, push. You need somebody to push you over the ledge, have somebody push you, go live. And then the more you do it, just like with anything else, the more comfortable you're going to get. And it's good to, once you do your videos, go back and watch yourself, because you might realize, oh, I was repeating, the word "and" a whole bunch of times, or I was saying or whatever the case may be. And so go watch your videos and then critique yourself. And I think another thing that is helpful is to tune in to live broadcasts with different entrepreneurs that you follow and see what they do. How are they flowing with their content? How do they start with their video? How do they end? So yes, definitely remember that nervousness, but you just have to do it. And then once you do it, you will be good. You will be good. If you can teach in front of a classroom of students, you can teach online. You are good.
That's so true. I force my students to do a video. I'm the evil teacher. I'm the evil boss teacher. Yeah. One of the things I let them do firsthand is just create a video. I mean, we just put it in our private group, but for the most part, just to get it out there, because what we have to understand is video is one of the most powerful content online. And so you're going to have to get comfortable with it regardless. Even if you don't, you just have to. So let's go back to you making money on autopilot nowadays. We can't skip that over. I'm excited about that, because imagine, like, 2 years ago, you weren't making that kind of money. And then now looking back, you can see you have systems in place. You have a product, or products rather, that you can sell to an audience and generate additional income stream in addition to what you're already making as a teacher. And you are doing this part-time. So guys, like, it really is possible. That's all I'm trying to say. It's possible. Like, I share my story all the time. But you see, I am doing this full time. And so sometimes people cannot relate. So here we have Regina. She's a full-time elementary teacher, goes to her job in the day, teach virtually. I don't know if you have in person, but you're still teaching regardless. And then in the afternoon, we call it our 5 to 9, where we do our side hustle, and she's making additional income from what she's doing. So tell us some of the things, Regina, what are some of the products and services that you offer online, to give them an idea of what's really possible?
Yeah, and actually, once you figure out who your audience is and you figure out what they want, it's so easy, because sometimes we think like, oh, I got to create this big thing. But no, just figure out, once you hone in on who your audience is, Ask them what they want. Pay attention to what they're saying, the questions that they're asking. And then all you have to do is make what they need and they will buy it. They will buy it. If it is something that they need, they will purchase from you. So one of my big products is the prayer journal for teachers, which I actually have on Amazon that I sell. And this product, I released it in February. And I have been making money every month from the prayer journal, even on months that I don't do any ads. I've only run ads like one time. I don't sit on social media and talk about it every single day. I just kind of put pictures and stuff out there. People find it on my website. And there's, you don't have to sit and promote yourself all day long. You don't have to make something huge and crazy, but once you figure out what your audience needs and sit down and create it, and it's going to take some work to create it, but once you put in that work, then it's like, it's on autopilot, and it really is. And it's so cool. I'm telling you, when you make something that you have something up here in your imagination and it comes out in the physical and then people buy it, it's amazing.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. And I was sharing with a group last week how in awe I was the very first time I put a course together that was talking about purpose. Like, I didn't know anybody was going to buy this course on purpose, but it was sold out 2 months in advance and I had to close registration like at the end. And I'm just letting you know that, and I'm glad you said that, what you have up here, because we have to realize that in this day and age, you don't have to go out and learn anything. You don't even have to connect with a manufacturer anywhere. You literally are going to package what is in here, guys. Package what is in here. Turn it into an ebook. Turn it into an online course. Print it on a t-shirt. Print it on a plain book. And as long as your audience is interested in it, and that is why you have to take some time. So Regina took a year to understand who her audience is and what they needed. And then she basically went and created a product around what they were asking for. So take that time to understand your audience and just give them what they're asking for. They will buy it. They will buy it. If they need it, they're gonna buy it. Because if they've been asking you for it, obviously they need it. So package it, price it, and sell it. And you also made mention of making sales even though you were not actively promoting on social media. And that's the part I like, because for the latter half of this year, I've been on a journey to work less and earn more. So I've been streamlining a lot of things in my business so that I don't even post in my stories as often anymore, because I'm focused on doing other things, right? So what are some of the tools that you have been using to be able to streamline the sales process in your business so that you don't have to actively be on all the time promoting and selling?
Yeah, so one of the things you'll definitely want to do is make sure that you are building your email list. And so when you send out your emails, you can put in a little plug for your product within the email if it makes sense. So if I'm writing a devotional for my teachers, I can say, put in a little hyperlink that talks about building their relationship with God during prayer. I could put something at the bottom to just put it in front of their eyes. I don't know exactly what the statistics are, but I know customers need to see something. There's a certain number of times that they need to see it before they buy it. There we go. So if you put it on your emails, on your social media, especially like for me, Instagram is where the bulk of my audience is. So Instagram is photos. So I will take pictures of the prayer journal, of different pages inside the prayer journal, and just put those on my Instagram with a little blurb with it. And people will ask, like, what book is this? Where can I find this? Then I'm able to point them to the website to purchase it. And then also on your website itself, make sure that you have your product, not just on your product page, but in the sidebar. If you're writing blogs, put it there. You want to put it in lots of places so that people will constantly be seeing it.
Awesome. So, okay, please do me a favor right now. Send me the link to the prayer journal inside of the chat where we are and backstage, so I can pull it up later on so they can see it. So you can do it at any time. I'll pull it up later on as soon as I get it. So you have that going on autopilot, and sales are coming in regardless of whether or not you are promoting. So you see the possibility of online, guys. You don't have to be constantly out there selling. You just create amazing value and people will buy from you. Are there any sacrifices that you have had to make over the past 2 years in order to get the faith-filled teacher to where it is today? Like in terms of, all right, however you want to interpret it.
Okay, sacrifices. I would say, you know, there's times that I would rather be doing other things like relaxing or, you know, spending more time with my children or, you know, different things like that. But in order for you to able to create your business and start making money, sacrifice is inevitable. So it's either going to be, you know, sacrificing time, sacrificing, you know, maybe your friend is having something on a Saturday night, and instead of going to that, you choose to stay home and work. Maybe you're sacrificing some of your sleep, you know, because you got to carve out that time somewhere. So there is definitely going to be some sacrifice, absolutely. But once you put in that work, like the reward that you get from sacrificing that time or that outing or whatever is priceless. So know that sacrifice is inevitable, but know that it is going to be super rewarding.
Awesome. I love that, because like I've made so many sacrifices over the past 2 years. But a follow-up question for that though, are you sacrificing as much today than you did like in the previous months, in the previous year, or in the previous 2 years? Are you sacrificing as much today?
I would say, since I'm still building my business and, you know, I'm constantly having different products and things that I'm creating, I would say, yeah, I am still sacrificing because I want to keep growing and keep building and keep serving my audience. But I think once you start putting some things in place and making money, like there's a little bit, the pressure is a little bit off because you're like, okay, I've done it. I'm seeing the fruits of my labor. So, you know, if you want to say, okay, well, today, you know, instead of working for 2 hours, I'm just going to spend 30 minutes because, you know, I want to do X, Y, Z, you know, then I think that you can have a little bit more flexibility in your schedule. But I'm still, yes, constantly sacrificing because I still have goals. I'm still pushing myself.
Yeah, and I love that. You have to be continuously growing. So at different stages, I guess you sacrifice different things, right? In order to see that progress, And I just want the audience to understand that everything takes time. So in the past 2 years, you've seen my growth as boss teacher, and Regina is sharing her growth as the faith-filled teacher. And you realize that there are different stages. So what she was doing in 2018, she's not doing it today. She has grown, but she has moved to another level and take on a different kinds of sacrifices. But the beautiful thing about online business is that, and this is what I love about how I work. Once you create that prayer journal and put it up on Amazon for sale, you can close your eyes and walk away. You literally never have to go back to it again. So with online business, you create a product and it's done. Like you sacrifice all of that. You lose so much sleep when you're putting it together. You tear your hair out, things don't go right. But once that 2-week period is done, that's it. That's it. Yeah. That's the beauty of working online. You can just create a product and just walk away. And so I think that is kind of the perfect package for teachers, because if you are short on time, and you're trying to figure out, even in a pandemic, how are you going to get some sleep? One of the good things is that you can create a product for your audience online, and you just sacrifice that short period of time where you're putting things together. And then once it's done, you just literally need to show up for your audience and say, hey, here is the link. I can go get some sleep now. You go buy my stuff. Do you have any words of encouragement, any words of advice, especially for our teachers who are watching and are thinking about taking the step to really start something online, for an online audience and so on? Do you have any words of advice for them?
Yeah, so my...
Oh, before you answer that though, Regina, before you answer that, I want to let the audience know that you can share your questions, any comments that you have, please type it in the chat, because once we're done with the conversation here, I'm going to be popping into the chat to answer any questions that you have for her. So go ahead and share those in the meantime. So what advice do you have for those emerging teacher entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so I think one of the first things is that you have got to believe in yourself. Like, you're going to have thoughts of doubt come in. You're going to look at other people online, think, oh, well, she's doing this and I'm only doing this. So stop comparing yourself to other people. What God has placed on the inside of you, the gifts, the experiences that you've had in your life, whatever it is that you are preparing to share with the world, you can do it. There are people that are waiting for you to start that business, for you to write that book, for you to put that journal together or whatever, start that product line, that beauty line, whatever it is, you have people that are waiting for you. So you have to believe in yourself, because me and Julia, we're just regular old people, right? Like, there's nothing special about me. I don't have any special business degree. I literally Googled myself and figured out how to start my website and figured out how to YouTube myself and figured out how to self-publish my book, how to use the platform online to do it. And like Julia was saying, you know, I pulled my hair out because I had to do, 4 or 5 different drafts of this prayer journal before it was right, but I got it done. So believe in yourself, okay? And the next thing I would say is definitely hone in on exactly who your audience is. Who do you want to serve? Who is out there that you are going to speak to? Because once you know who you're serving, then creating your products is so much more easy. And the next thing I would say is, like, don't be afraid of money. Like, there's nothing wrong with making money. Money in the hands of good people just makes those people greater. And we can make so much more of a difference in the world with money. Like, we need money to do everything. So don't be afraid to make money. Don't be afraid to ask for sales, and figure out what product you are going to sell early on. Like, don't worry about the colors of your website and what font you're going to use and all this stuff. Like, if you want to make money, you need to have something to sell. So figure that out early on.
I just wrote a world premiere quote that goes like this. Money in the hands of good people make those people greater. I love it. I love it. Regina, I'm going to post it tomorrow and I'm going to tag you. You know why
Yes.
like this in particular stood out for me? Because I'm having these conversations with teachers who literally feel that they are not worth it. Like, they feel like they should be satisfied with their teacher salary because that's what God put them on this earth to do. And they don't realize that they're meant for more. One young lady just the other day said to me, well, she was not a teacher, but she's one of my students. She said, I have a good job. I'm making a decent salary. Why do I feel the urge to go out and give more into the world and charge people for it? Like, she couldn't come to terms with it. So we had that conversation in one of our group coaching sessions. And I hear that like a recurring theme among teachers, like, I don't know what else to do. I can't make this money. And they feel fearful of charging what they are worth. That is it. The fear of charging what you're worth because they don't feel like they should be charging this much or this amount. Like I should charge less because I don't know what the thinking is. Like I'm still trying. I understand it, but I don't think I fully get why we as like not worth as much. So I don't know if you have anything to contribute on that, but it is something I'm trying to grasp the whole magnitude of it.
Yeah.
But
our mindsets are so important. You know, the Bible talks about as a man thinketh, so is he in the Bible. Sorry for people that are not believers,
girl,
but you know,
they know me. You're cool.
And about renewing your mind, like being transformed by renewing your mind. And so I think, you know, and Joyce Meyer has her book called The Battlefield of the Mind, because it really, everything that you do in life starts up here. So if you're constantly doubting yourself, saying like, I'm not worth it, I don't need this, then that's what's gonna follow. But if you change your mindset and have those coaching calls with Julia and really dig into that, and you start knowing who you are and who God created you to be, and you remember that God didn't create all this wealth just for the wicked. No, he created for his sons and for his daughters, right? And God does want us to live an abundant life. And no, we're not walking around, you know, gloating and we have this and have that, but we should be prospering. We should have leftovers so we can give to the poor, so we can help those in need, and we can help our brother and our sister if we're scraping by ourselves. So, you know, we got to get out of that mindset, definitely.
Yeah. I agree with you. And there's this verse of scripture. I think I shared it on my social media a couple of weeks ago. Like shortly after I had one of those very same conversations with a teacher. There's this verse of scripture in let me look for it. It's Leviticus, I believe, where it talks about. No, I'm trying to find it, guys. I have to find it. I don't know it by heart. So I'm looking for it to share it with you. Here it is. It's Deuteronomy 8 and verse 18 that says, remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth. Like that alone should just give you confidence. And I remember, and there's so many scriptures on wealth and abundance and riches in the Bible, and we still have that limiting belief about that we're not worth it. We're not worth it. But we are as God's children, we are. So go after it. All right. So those are some amazing tips that you shared, Regina. I am absolutely I 100% agree with every single one of them. I see some questions coming in the chat. So we're gonna go to those in a minute, but here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be popping a link inside of the YouTube chat for you guys right now. So look for it. And so for those of you you heard Regina earlier talked about her prayer journal. This is it. Let me do a quick screen share and show them the prayer journal. So right now you should be looking on the link to the prayer journal on Amazon, the prayer journal for teachers. So if you're a teacher, you're going to want to have to get a copy of this. So the link for that is located in the chat inside of YouTube. And if you're watching the replay, I'm definitely going to be adding it to the description of this video. So look below the description of the video to get access to check out Regina's journal, as well as get your own copy. She put a lot of hard work, a lot of losing of sleep to put this thing together. And I know for sure that it is going to be impactful for you, because the Holy Spirit can just talk to her and let her put out a little journal just so. It has to be powerful if it's coming from heaven. You understand what I mean? So go and support Regina and just invest in just your own personal and spiritual development. It's the prayer journal for teachers if you're searching for it on Amazon, and the link is also in the description. If you're on live, it's in the chat. All right, guys. You also mentioned something else that you wanted to share about the shirts that you have, Regina.
Yes. So I have a couple apparel items, and this is one of my best sellers. I'm sure it's backwards to you, but it says "Created to Teach." And so I have it in white. I have it on the black. I love wearing the sweatshirts because it's getting chilly out. So all of my apparel items just for you guys, because you're so special. I have a promotion code for 50% off all apparel items in my shop. All you have to do is use the code November20, November20, and you can go and just shop yourself happy. And you can get to my shop by going to thefaithfulteacher.com, and at the top you'll see a little shop link there, and click on apparel and it'll take you to my shop.
All right, so I'm putting all of those links inside of the chat as well as in the description of the video. So you can go ahead and visit the website and purchase any of the apparel that she has there, as well as the link to the journal is inside of the video as well. So let's jump right now into a few of the questions that I saw earlier. So there's one question coming from Kimberly. What are your tips for coming up with business ideas?
Tips for coming up with a business idea. So there's a lot of different resources out there. If you just Google like business ideas or how to come up with a business, you'll see a lot of different things. One of the things that I did was just make a list of like your interests, anything and everything that you're interested in. And sometimes you can take two things and combine them. That's kind of what I did. I have a passion for teaching and I have a passion for my faith. So I kind of put both of those together, and that's how I came up with mine. You definitely want to have something that you are passionate about, and not just something that you think is going to make you money, because you want to have something that you can put your heart into, that you're going to be excited about. I'm excited about working with teachers. I love inspiring people. Also, you can ask your friends, like, what am I good at? What are my qualities? A lot of my friends tell me I'm very inspirational. I'm very encouraging. I'm naturally. So that kind of goes into my business too. So those are a couple of tips that I would have.
Awesome. Let me add to that for Kimberly. One of the activities that I generally give is that make a column, like what are you really, really good at, as Regina said, and also what you're passionate about. And make a list of all of those things. What you're good at, make a list of them. What you're passionate about, make a list of them. And where those two things intersect, that's one of the things that you need to add to your list of what you can start your business with. Because you might be good at something, but you're not so passionate about it. And so when those days come when you don't really want to get up and do it, you're probably not going to do it anyway, because you're not that passionate. And then you might be passionate about something, but you're not so good at it. So it's going to take you a lot more work to become really, really good at it. So we are right now in your life where those two things intersect is usually one of those things you want to add to the list of what you can start your business on as well. All right, so another question here from Leisha Rainford. Where can I go to publish a book?
Yeah, so the platform that I use is Kindle Direct Publishing, and that's Amazon's self-publishing platform. So I know there are several out there, but that's the one that I use.
Yeah, that's the one that I use as well. So like 100% endorse that. If you just Google Kindle Direct Publishing, then it has a lot of tutorials, videos, instructions on how you can get your book published. So whether it be a book like mine, the Think It, Teach It, Sell It, or a journal like Regina's, it gives you guidelines. And anywhere that there's not enough information there, just Google it. Like literally just Google it. A lot of things we learn from Google to do in the online business world. You can find it, believe me. Believe me. All right, let me just check if we have any more questions coming in. All right, no more questions here. So I guess that we're wrapping up for tonight. So again, guys, the links to purchase the prayer journal is there in the description. I'm also going to be leaving the link for the website at thefaithfilledteacher.com. If you visit her shop and use the code November 20, you get 50% discount off of all of the items that are there. Regina. Oh, it was an exciting session. It was a very informative session. I really, really appreciated the last 45 minutes that we've been together. And it was just, my heart is full. I really thank you for just coming on and sharing with the audience. And guys, please go and follow Regina on our social media platforms. Like if you're a teacher, you need to be following her, just full stop. Like she is very, like she really is inspirational. Trust me, she is. When I go through her stories sometimes and just soak up all of the inspiration that she's getting from heaven when she gets up off her knees, it's amazing. So I recommend that you do go and follow her as well. She is the faith-filled teacher on all of the different platforms. Regina, thank you so much again for spending the evening with me. I really appreciate it. I was absolutely just full from tonight. And I know you've provided amazing value to those that were watching as well. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's always awesome to talk with you. You're like my sister from another mother, my sister teacher sister. How do you say it? I don't know. Oh my goodness, guys, boss teachers who are watching, all of my bosses who are logged on, thank you for staying with us for the entire session. Thank you for waiting while we were delayed a little bit and you came back on in full force. You interacted in the comments. Thank you so much. I want to find out from you before we go, what is the number one thing that you're taking from tonight's session? What did you learn? Was it a good session? Did we just waste your entire 40 minutes? No, I know we didn't. But just let me know in the comments. So let me just do a quick shout out before you go to Chevonnet. Now I know how to pronounce your name, Chevonnet, to Ayana, to Shakiria, Kimberly, Leisha, who else was in the chat? Donna, and we had Tashana, and so many more people who were online, but they weren't connecting in the chat. Thank you so much for sticking to the end, and we'll see you tomorrow for another guest. Tomorrow we have, what do we have tomorrow? I can't believe I've forgotten. Oh my goodness, brain freeze. I'm checking, guys, this is not happening. Tomorrow we are having Rachel. Oh my goodness, Rachel is going to be on tomorrow. She's the founder and CEO of Fundaciones, a bilingual school here in Kingston and Montego Bay, and now they've gone virtual. Rachel was also a guest on the Boss Teacher podcast, and we're going to just be having a nice little conversation in the same way we did here with Regina tonight. So I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow, and remember, go and support the Faith-Filled Teacher. Follow her on Instagram, and if you see me tag her, just click on the tag and go and follow her as well. All right, so that's it for tonight, guys. All the best, and we'll see you tomorrow. Toodles.